Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Kabir Considers. In this video, I'm going to react to the 5 biggest TV game show scandals ever. This is going to be really fun because, you know, when you get onto a TV show here in the UK, and I actually got onto a TV show before. I won a bit of money, but I spend it all really quickly. You go through multiple, you audition, you apply for the show, you fill out the application, you then you go to an audition. There's probably tons of you for only a few slots. You know, you speak as part of a group, you then get invited to speak to the producers. There's a few levels, and that's just to get onto the show. And then there's no guarantee that you'll actually win any money. So, you know, for someone who gets onto let's say, who wants to be a millionaire, you really want to win, obviously, right? But you don't know what the questions will be. And there's some people who cheat to try and win money. I remember reading about a guy, I think he had his partner or his wife, I don't know what it was, she would cough, so if the answer was B, she would cough twice. Or if it was D, she would cough 4 times. He might be one of these people on this video. And I think, they gave him the money. I think he won the million, but then they took it back, citing that he cheated. And stuff like that, the lengths people will go to win, for money, I guess. To be honest, we all know people will go to virtually any length for money if it's under the right circumstances. But yeah, this video should be really cool to watch. Let's do it. Let's go.
Game shows are made for not only our entertainment as the viewer, but for the people competing to have some fun and even potentially win some epic cash prizes. Although there can be a dark side to what should be an hour's worth of fun for all. Here are our top 5 game show scandals. Number 1. Super Password, Fugitive. In 1988, a man by the name of Patrick Quinn managed to win a total of $58,000 on the game show Super Password. Sadly enough, however, this was not long-lived. The man, Patrick Quinn, was actually named Carrie D. Ketchum, a fugitive who was wanted in 3 states. Someone watching the program managed to recognize him and made the call to the police. When the 36-year-old turned up to collect his prize money, he was swiftly arrested by local officers.
Unreal.
Ketchum was sentenced to 5 years in prison for faking his ex-wife's death in order to collect $100,000 from the insurance policy and for credit card fraud. He also never received his Super Password winnings, as it was deemed that he had violated contestant eligibility rules.
Damn. First of all, why didn't the producers run a simple background check? I know it was in the 80s, but I'm sure they had background checks and databases back then. It seems like a massive oversight, but crazy story.
Number 2. Michael Larson, Press Your Luck. Genius or cheat? How about both? In 1984, Michael Larson managed to win $110,237 in a single game of the American game show Press Your Luck.
Nice payday.
The concept of the game was simple. Contestants would collect spins by answering trivia questions and then use the spins on a seemingly random 18-space game board to win cash and prizes. However, the clever ice cream truck driver noticed that the luck board would always move in one of 5 looping patterns, and he was able to stop the moving square on the board anywhere he wanted. It wasn't luck or random at all. With the help of hundreds of recorded episodes, Larson completed his memory training in just under 2 months.
Wow.
He was then able to dominate the show by stopping the moving square on the high-value prizes and cash amounts, which quickly added up to a sizable amount.
Stop, Act.
Nice.
Don't stop for us anytime. Stop at 5, guys. Stop, guys. Sailboat.
He made it too obvious, man. Maybe I'd love to watch this whole episode, because you wouldn't stop it at the highest value thing every single time, because then it's obvious. You got to mix it up.
Producers of the show tried to get out of paying him because his skills could be counted as cheating. However, because there weren't any specific rules against memorizing the patterns, the producers had to admit that there were flaws in the system. And Larson drove off into the sunset with his cash.
Pay that man his money.
His small fortune didn't last long, and within 2 years, he had lost the lot, mainly due to getting involved in illegal schemes, and some had been stolen in a burglary.
I mean, obviously the ending of that story wasn't great, but, you know, how sleazy is it that they tried to get out of paying him? At the end of the day, all he did was, you know, play the game to the best of his ability. He found a strategy that worked for him, that you hadn't protected yourselves against. Like, pay him. It's like those stories you hear about a person puts on a bet at a bookie or a casino, like a long shot, and they win. And the bookie, you know, then says, "Oh no, for this reason or that reason, it was a malfunction on the slot machine. We're not going to pay you." That's BS. Pay them their money.
Number 3, $1 million money drop scandal. A total reverse scenario here, in the form of couple Gabe Okoye and Brittany Mai, who were contestants on the very first episode of $1 Million Money Drop. The two were given a question.
Which of these was sold in stores first?
And the couple placed $800,000 of their $1 million on Post-it notes, with the two other choices being a Mac computer and a Walkman. Unfortunately, the couple's answer was wrong, and down the chute, their $800,000 fell. However, after the show was aired, producers were left red-faced when it was revealed that the couple's original answer of Post-it notes was in fact correct.
Give them something, please.
The internet was extremely vocal in its collective upset with Fox, as they deduced that while Post-it notes, under that name, were sold after the Walkman in 1980, they were first tested and sold under the name Press and Peel in 1977. So technically, they were right. However, host Kevin Pollak is on record explaining that because of the way the game is played, at the time when they got the answer incorrect, it did not even matter because the money winnings were not even secured at that point, and the couple lost the remaining money on the very next question. To this day, the argument is still divided. Rather than Fox offering the couple some sort of compensation, they were instead invited back onto the show for another shot at the game.
Okay, for me, that's a good solution. You know, give them another chance. It's not perfect, but another chance is fair.
However, in another streak of bad luck, the show was cancelled before they could come back with a vengeance.
No, that is not fair. That is just so unfair, man. Oh, I feel so bad for them. Because out of that 800 grand, they probably would have walked away with, let's say, 100 at least. Oh man, I feel so bad for them.
Number 4, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Fraud. In 2001, former British Army Major Charles Ingram managed to show the world how utterly stupid he is, all the while being made to pay £115,000 in fines for fraud. His crime? Attempting to defraud on an episode of popular game show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. How? By having his wife and another contestant cough as the correct answer was said out loud to indicate that it was right. Luckily, the producers of the show were vigilant and suspected foul play, and his scheme was quickly sussed. Charles managed to answer the 15th and final question correctly and had won the £1 million jackpot prize. However, the winnings were quickly suspended on allegations that he had cheated by using the help of the audience. After the show ended, producers began looking at all the recorded footage in an attempt to find evidence of cheating, which they did after Tequan Widdock, who was another contestant and who was positioned right behind Charles, could be heard coughing and blowing his nose numerous times.
Nice try.
Throughout the show, after the correct answer to the question was read out loud by Charles.
I would have thought that it would be Aristotle Onassis.
Oh, it's so obvious.
It's Aristotle Onassis.
Oh, it's just so obvious.
A1 or Craig, David.
Oh, cringe. The cringe is so strong.
Could be any of them, really. But I think it's cricket. But I'm not sure. But I think it's cricket.
Stop it! Stop! I can't take any more.
I think if I had to guess, and I can, I think I'd take cricket. I think it was Holbein.
To be honest, I'm shocked that the person coughing wasn't asked to leave or like to go get some water or something. I feel like today, off camera, they would have given them a water, and if the coughing persisted, they would have said, you know, you're ruining the broadcast. You know, we need you to, you know, go into the green room or something. It's so obvious.
During the 14th question, which was worth £500,000, Charles nearly messed up the entire plan when he almost answered the question incorrectly. But out of desperation, Tequan can be heard coughing and even whispering loudly the word no.
Oh my God. Oh, this is so obvious. This is so obviously cheating.
Charles's wife can also be heard coughing twice during one of the questions. Once she thought her husband didn't know the answer. Charles has always claimed that he did not cheat during the show and did not recall hearing any coughing.
Of course,
however,
you're
a
gonna say
jury
you didn't
disagreed and found all three guilty of fraud, and they were each given suspended jail sentences, and instead of receiving the £1 million prize, were made to pay over £100,000 in fines and fees. Charles was also ordered to resign from his position in the army due to the scandal.
Oh gosh.
Number 5.
Savage. 100 grand down and you lose your job. Whew. Hopefully the court took a payment plan.
The Dating Game Killer. The Dating Game was an American TV show which aired on ABC that had 3 mystery men battle each other with their own words of seduction.
I think this is the one where there was a guy, Richard Ramirez or something like that. He was a killer or something.
In order to gain a date and maybe a bit more. Cheryl Bradshaw was the woman of the episode, and in 1978 managed to weed out a serial killer in the lineup. Rodney Alcala somehow managed to remain undetected as a rapist and killer, even though he was a registered sex offender. Prior to being on the show, the seemingly charming man had already raped a child and murdered at least 2 women.
Oh my
and went on to kill at least 2 more and a 12-year-old girl. Looking back at the show now, it's very creepy hearing some of Alcala's answers to the woman's questions, especially when the 35-year-old said,
"We're going to have a great time together, Cheryl."
Luckily for Bradshaw, despite choosing Alcala as her choice date, she never actually went on it and refused to go out with him.
Lucky, man. That is pure good fortune, man, because goodness knows what would have happened to her.
Alcala was eventually caught in 1979 after the disappearance of the 12-year-old girl led traces back to him. He is currently awaiting execution in a California state prison.
Wow.
It is estimated that he has murdered between 8 and 130 women. We're not sure what's crazier, this guy's creepy answers on the dating game, or the fact that a murderer was easily able to get on a TV show.
Oh my God.
Thanks for watching.
Crazy video. I mean, just the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire guy. So you made it to the rank of major in the British Army. You know, you clearly have some intelligence, you know, to get to that rank. You know, you have some good judgment, and you thought you could get away with such a blatant strategy of cheating. So obvious. I couldn't believe it. Like, I just don't understand. Like, it was so obvious. So obvious, man. You thought you'd get away with that? Crazy, crazy. To be honest, every single one of the stories on this list was fascinating. You know, the guy who memorized the 5 different patterns of movement and picked the high value block each time. Without watching the whole episode, it's hard for me to pass my opinion, to pass judgment, but I feel like he was selecting the highest value one every single time. He should have maybe mixed it up a little bit, but amazing video. I really enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.